Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy. I'm Chris the Dom One, and I am back with another video. Subscribe to my new comedy channel, Missy Media U. It's a comedy channel. I do a lot of skits and improvs and things of that nature. So check that channel out as well. And let's get into this situation. Excuse me there for a minute. Let's get into the situation between Dwyane Wade moving to the bench, right? Now, when you listen to LeBron James and Dwyane Wade speak on this decision, Dwyane Wade felt like this is the best decision for him, because now he can play with the second unit, excuse me, and he can be the playmaker. When he was starting, it was LeBron James and Dwyane Wade. They're both, even though they're playmakers, technically they're ISO players, right? And that was one of the reasonings why the Miami Heat, when they had the big three, they had two ISO players, basically the same style, the same talent, on the same squad. And sometimes that can be a crutch, particularly when you play teams like the Dallas Mavericks. They lost the series with the Dallas Mavericks, and the San Antonio Spurs. When you have ISO players and you don't have enough shooters, defenses can have a scenario in place where it's quite literally easier to defend an ISO player versus a jump shooter. All right, that's why the Golden State Warriors are difficult to defend. Okay, but nevertheless, Dwyane Wade accepted this role, which, by the way, the Miami Heat was also was going to give him this role as well as coming off the bench. Dwyane Wade's a lot older. He's still an ISO player. You can't change someone's style overnight. Once you're an ISO player, you're always an ISO player. Now, you can incorporate things into the player, like being a better free throw shooter, putting your back, doing post plays, trying to improve your jump shot, your three-point game, trying to improve. But there's a reason why you're an ISO player, because you're more of a playmaker. You're the type of player that has to have the ball in order for this to gel, for this to work. Okay, so I wasn't too surprised or shocked about this announcement. Plus, J.R. Smith has been upset with, if you want to call it a demotion, they pretty much put J.R. Smith on the bench. And I told you guys J.R. Smith was not going to like that. And when you look at it in a basketball type of way, really, to be truthfully honest with you, J.R. Smith will have more open shots, and as well as LeBron James. When you have LeBron James around a bunch of shooters, it makes LeBron James' game better, and it makes J.R. Smith's game better, because now you're going to have to do one or two things. You're going to either double LeBron James and let J.R. Smith take that uncontested shot, or you're going to try to match them straight up, and that's going to cause problems with your team as well. I don't know why this thing will never stay up. So I told you guys in several videos that J.R. Smith wasn't happy. And I told you guys that Dwyane Wade is, when you talk about an older player, an older ISO player, they may have to come down the road with this decision. And Dwyane Wade accepted it like a pro and said, okay, well, why do we have to wait till later on into the season and then we make this move? Let's go ahead and make this move now. This will be beneficial for Dwyane Wade, and it'll also be beneficial for the Cleveland Cavaliers. J.R. Smith is happy. Now, I will say this. People that are not going to be happy are Derrick Rose, and whenever he comes back from his injury, which I told you guys, Derrick Rose has been known to be injured over several seasons, and he's only getting older. He's not getting younger, all right? And Isaiah Thomas. All the two players I just mentioned are also ISO players, all right? They need the ball. They can't work around the ball. They definitely need the ball to be very productive, all right? So what does that mean for those players, all right? Now, I'm going to be the first to tell you this, all right? It wouldn't shock me or surprise me none if the Cleveland Cavaliers come to the resolution of, well, we need another player, you know, and it wouldn't shock me or surprise me none to see Isaiah Thomas or Derrick Rose being traded, because here's why. Now since you put Dwyane Wade on the bench, all right, and he's going to play with the second unit, you're not going to pair Dwyane Wade up with another ISO player, because basically you're still having the same problem. Instead of in the starting lineup, now you have that problem on the second unit, all right? Particularly when the game is down by 10, you want to rest up LeBron James, and you put out the second unit, and you roll out the second unit, and the second unit is you have two dominating ISO players, all right? Dwyane Wade or Isaiah Thomas, or Dwyane Wade or Derrick Rose, okay? So that becomes a problem, okay? The last game, Cleveland, it was a blowout against the Orlando Magic. The Cleveland Cavaliers got blown out by the Orlando Magic. That is embarrassing. And Dwyane Wade's stats wasn't very impressive either, all right? So that's a telltale sign to me that they need more shooters. They try to be a physical unit with Jay Crowder, LeBron James, Dwyane Wade, up in your face type of defense. But to me, it seems like the Cleveland Cavaliers are in an identity crisis. They don't know if they want to be a defensive team or a team that scores a lot of points like the Golden State Warriors. If they want to be like the Golden State Warriors, then clearly they need more shooters. Kyle Korver is the type of shooter that is streaky. He's not going to produce night in and night out a lot of points, okay? He's the type of player that if you put him in the corner and you don't defend him, he's going to knock down that shot, okay? Best believe that. J.R. Smith is a streaky shooter. And he can sit back behind that three-point line and knock and drain down 8 or 9 threes. And in other games, where is he? He's that type of a streaky shooter. Derrick Rose was never known to be a shooter. Neither Isaiah Thomas. They have the capabilities to become that, but to consistently depend on that is idiotic, to say you know, for that type of nonsense. All right. So clearly, the Cleveland Cavaliers need to figure out their identity. Are they going to be a defensive team, or they're going to be a jump shooting team? And if they are trying to become a jump shooting team, which clearly, if you look at the recent moves of the Cleveland Cavaliers, I think they're leaning towards becoming a team that can score a lot of points so they can compete with the Golden State Warriors. All right. And if they're trying to become that type of team, that type of unit, they need more shooters. All right. No way of getting around that. All right. Kyle Korver is good. J.R. Smith is decent, but you still need more shooters. All right. And that is probably going to be the downfall of the Cleveland Cavaliers if they don't hurry up and fix this. All right. Or figure out what they're trying to be. All right. To me, if they're trying to take the approach of being a defensive unit, then why do you even have J.R. Smith in the starting lineup? J.R. Smith is not a defensive dynamo. Okay. That's not J.R. Smith's M.O. You know, back in the Denver Nugget days, J.R. Smith could do a lot of things when he was younger, all right? And J.R. Smith could have been one of those players we could have been mentioning about for years to come. But J.R. Smith did not want to evolve, all right? And it was a lot of personal things going on with J.R. Smith that he was going through, okay? But we're in 2017. We're not back then. And the J.R. Smith you got now is reduced to a jump shooter, all right? That's his M.O., all right? And some nights he have it, and a lot of nights he don't, all right? So between him and Kyle Korver, that's a start, but you're going to still need more jump shooters if you're trying to score a lot of points, okay? And Dwyane Wade accepts this role because Dwyane Wade knows in the back of his mind that he has no choice but to accept this role, okay? It's not like he has a lot of options, okay? Let's just go ahead and call it for what it is. Dwyane Wade is not the same player he was with the Miami Heat. Okay, we saw some of this last year with the Chicago Bulls, but it was hidden pretty good and pretty decent because the Chicago Bulls wasn't like that unit was like an athletic unit, and when you had Rondo, a lot of teams had to figure out who they was going to focus on: Jimmy Butler, Dwyane Wade, or Rondo. When you got that type of talent in a young core unit, okay, you can hide a lot of things from a lot of teams. And Dwyane Wade, even though he had a good season with the Chicago Bulls, at the end of the day, Dwyane Wade is what he is today. He's not that shooter. I mean, he's not that player that can knock down shots on a night in, night out basis. Okay, even in his prime, back when him and Shaq was paired up, Dwyane Wade did have shown tendencies to do that. However, primarily he was more of an athletic ISO player. Okay, and that's why it worked so well, and that's why he got a ring with Shaquille O'Neal, and that's why he got a ring later on with LeBron James. LeBron James was in his prime, and LeBron James had so many facets to his game. You know, not being a jump shooting team, they didn't have to necessarily worry about that, and they still won titles with the Miami Heat. Now with Cleveland, Dwyane Wade is much older, okay, and the things, and when you're talking about being athletic, that's primarily for like younger type players. Dwyane Wade, he has those tendencies, and I feel like with him on the second unit is going to be very beneficial for the Cleveland Cavaliers, as well as LeBron James and Dwyane Wade. J.R. Smith is going to be happy, because J.R. Smith did not like the role of coming off the bench, and you get the very best out of J.R. Smith. Plus, he's another shooter you can put on the court to pair along with LeBron James. And when LeBron James sits down and rests, that's when you put Dwyane Wade in. Okay, so we're gonna wait and see how this ultimately turns out for the Cleveland Cavaliers, they're still gonna go to the playoffs, even if Dwyane Wade's on the bench or if he's starting. They're still going to the playoffs. They're still going to run rucksaw over the East. But at the end of the day, I think they're built for the Golden State Warriors. And right now, they're just testing out a few things to find out the right formula to match with the Golden State Warriors. All right? But guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. Please hit that notification bell on my YouTube channel so it'll let you know when my next video or live stream is going down. It's your boy. I'm Chris the Down One, and I am out.